the scene is getting a lot of criticism as well, and it did disturb me. For people who don't know, what happens on a set and how these scenes are shot. Of course, for them, imagination can take you anywhere, right? What I'm doing is right. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going to do it. Ranbir was so sweet that he said, "This is your scene. How do you want to do it? You want my clothes first? You want your clothes first?" And I think that is something that makes him a very special human being, very humble.
My name is Jigar Shah, and today we have with us someone who can easily be called the national crush of India right now. Does that feel, Tripti?
It feels amazing. I mean, I'm very happy with the response. I didn't expect it at all. It's a very unexpected surprise, and I'm very happy about it. Getting a lot of love from people, and I'm grateful for it.
When did you realize that your character has connected with the audience?
I think it's the second day of the release, because that when people started talking about it, and they could, they were talking about how the vulnerability of the character, and that's when I was like, okay, now they have struck a chord with Zoya, which I wanted from day one when I was playing it on screen. I was like, I hope they see what this person is going through. And with such limited screen time, I wasn't obviously expecting it, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they are connecting with Zoya.
Now, from a reserved girl, I'm sure you've seen the photographs, the videos which people are unfortunately taking from
Yeah.
from the street, from the cinema hall going out. How did you prepare for those scenes? I mean that particular shot, a particular scene, whatever, how you want to place it. That how did you prepare yourself or psych yourself to do it?
I think, more than this scene, the rape scene that I did in Bulbul was more challenging for me as a person. I won't say as an actor, as a person, that scene was more challenging because you're just giving up,
Yeah.
and giving up, I think, is more difficult than finding courage to do something. And so yeah, that is, if I can overcome that, then this was, I think, nothing in comparison to that. And I think the day you sign a project, it's your job, it's your responsibility as an actor to do 100% justice to the character you're portraying, to be completely honest with it, to make sure that you're giving your director what it wants on screen, and portraying it with utmost honesty. And I think that's what I aim to do. And honestly, the scene is getting a lot of criticism as well, and it did disturb me initially, because I'm someone, touchwood, who has hardly faced criticism. Very little. I mean, initially with my first few films, very little praises, 10% criticism, 90% praises. This time it was a mixture of both. So I was also taken aback, but then, I sat myself down and I thought about it. The day I decided to become an actor, nobody forced me to become an actor. I wanted to do it because I thought, I found it exciting, and as I started doing it, the characters that I was playing, it was healing a part of me, and I started having fun with it, and I started finding joy in the challenges and everything that was coming my way. And that is how I want to go about acting in life as well. Whatever comes my way, as long as I am comfortable, as long as people around me on set are making me feel comfortable, and as long as I know what I'm doing is right, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm going to do it, because that is something that I want for myself as an actor and as a human being. That is something I want to experience. So yeah, that way it's been beautiful. I was given, I think on set there were literally 4 people that day: me, Ranbir, Sandeep sir, and the DOP. Nobody who's not required, who's not there.
Hmm.
Every 5 minutes they were asking me, "Are you okay? Is there something you want? Are you okay? Are you comfortable?" So when people around you are giving you so much support and making sure you're comfortable, you don't feel odd at all. I mean, of course, for people who don't know how a set works, or what happens on a set and how these scenes are shot, of course, for them, imagination can take you anywhere, right? Of course, for them it must be a little shocking, and I'm sure everybody's entitled to their opinion. But as for me, I was very comfortable, and I would always do what my character demands of me. So yeah.
So as I said that people have written so much about you in the last 3 4 days. One thing which came out was you were that Ranbir Kapoor was your first crush, which
Hmm.
came out. I don't know if it's true or not, but how was it to work with him when you meet your own crush? It said that you should not meet your ideals, but it said that usually it said that. But
Yeah, I have to say that. First crush was Shah Rukh Khan.
huh,
Second
uh,
was Ranveer. And it's just he's beautiful, not just as an actor, but also as a human being. I mean, whatever they say that you should not meet your idols, I'm glad I met my idol because I respect him even more now because up till now I knew him as an actor and I respected him for the honesty that he shows with his character. But when I worked with him, I was very nervous because obviously you're bound to be nervous when you're acting with, you can't stop smiling, you can't stop, I couldn't believe that I'm acting opposite him. And he could see that I was nervous. He could sense that. And he did everything he could do to make me feel comfortable, us checking up on me, making sure that there was this scene, the confession scene. That is there in the film, and I was very nervous because that's the scene where I have my lines in the film. And for some reason, because of my nervousness, I could just not remember my lines. And usually I'm very good with my lines, but that very day, they say every actor has that one bad day, and that day had to be my that bad day where I could not memorize my lines. And nobody made me feel awkward. Nobody made me feel that they're in a hurry to finish the scene, that, that I'm missing my lines. Everybody was like, it's okay, it's your scene. In fact, Ranveer was so sweet that he said, this is your scene. How do you want to do it? You want my closes first? You want your closes first? He was so, um, you know, he was kind enough to ask me that. And I think that is something that makes him a very special human being, very humble, very giving as a co-actor. Even in my takes, very, he was just giving his all. He was making sure that he gave me everything. He was doing everything that he was supposed to do in the scene, even though he was not seen on screen. So I think that makes him a beautiful person. And I'm just so glad. I thank my stars every day that I got to work with him, because there's so much to learn. Tomorrow when you grow as an actor, you want to be that person for another person, for
mm,
another newcomer who's nervous. You want to treat that person the same way you were treated by your idol.
yeah.
So yeah, I would say it was a wonderful experience.
With your character as Zoya, so much is being said about it. Even Ram Gopal Verma mentioned in his review you that how your character changed the perception for him in the film. A lot of women, a lot of men also have said that as far as when that bootlicking scene comes in and you drop on your
Yeah.
knees, a lot of people said that why is she doing it?
Hmm.
A lot of people, a lot of women people got up and said that, oh, I wouldn't do it. But so when you as
Yeah.
have that, so do you attach
I
morality to your
wouldn't do
role?
it as well. I wouldn't go down and lick someone's boot as Tripti, but it's a character that I'm playing, and this is something that I just mentioned that I've learned in my acting class, that whatever character we need to understand that we are all human beings, and there's good, there's bad, there's ugly in each one of us.
Hmm.
I have a good side, I have a very ugly side. You may not show your ugly side to everybody, but
Yeah.
you always put on a nice face and you're like always nice to people. But in films, you get to explore that side of you, and which is why I consider myself lucky also that I'm an actor, that in one lifetime I get to explore all my emotions, my good side, my bad side, my ugliest side. And I think yeah, in films also you get to explore that side of you, and that is shown to the world. Does not mean that what the person is doing is right, does not mean that what the person that people should start behaving like that, or it's not what the film is trying to say, or it's not what the characters are trying to portray. It's just that this is what maybe some people do, maybe this is what the character is doing,
Hmm.
not you as a person. And this is the ugly side of the character. That's it. That's it. It's the character making a mistake as a human being, and I think
Hmm.
every human being is allowed to make a mistake.
How much of a deal is infidelity for Tripti? I mean, would you
Big
let?
deal.
Sorry, come
I
again.
would not. Big deal, I said.
Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't want to promote infidelity. I think yeah, it is a sensitive. I get like I wouldn't want to experience it ever in my life. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll take you back in your career a bit. After Laila Majnu, which didn't work, there was like 2 year gap between Bulbul
Yeah.
coming out. How was that phase? Because I think Bulbul gave a, I think as for me, because I've seen Bulbul and I was scared when I interviewed Anvita, and I was scared when I saw it.
Hmm.
The complete red gave me like, because for me, red was Devdas, was Mr.
Hmm.
Bhansali. Anvita gave a
Yeah.
different color to it. I'm like, kya hai ye? So, so for me, it gave you a new lease of life. People actually, for me, I looked up Tripti,
Hmm.
what she's done, where is she coming from, etc. So, how was that 2 year gap wherein the film didn't work, Laila Majnu didn't work, and then you had a Bulbul, which probably also was with a new director, new producer. They're taking a risk. It's a horror genre kind of a thing.
So a lot happened in those 2 years. Firstly, though, when the film was about to release Laila Majnu,
Yeah,
it's a very silly incident, but I was in the market buying vegetables because, living in a rented apartment away from family, you have to do all these things
yeah,
by
yeah.
yourself. So I was buying vegetables, Pali market mein, and in my head I was like, oh no, my movie is going to release in 2 days. I'm not going to be able to do all this. I'm not going to be able to step out and buy vegetables. People are going to recognize me. So all of that was going on in my head. And when the film released and very few people watched it, I was like literally heartbroken. And I was like, it's okay. Maybe it's a part of, being in the business. You see success, you see failure, and it's all. But that time, there's very little understanding of these things. You want your film to do well. You question so many things. And after that, I thought life would change, but nothing really changed. Yes, I was being offered a lot of films, but not a lot of films. I mean, I was being offered films, but nothing that you know was exciting for me as an actor. So I would say it's the acting workshops that kept me sane. I thought, there's time I have on my hands, so might as well use it to better my craft, and that's what I did. I enrolled for a lot of acting workshops and I worked on my craft, and with the hope that someday I will get to, show my skills to people. And then Bulbul happened, and then when they were auditioning for Bulbul, I was auditioning for a lot of things. So I, just randomly worked for audition for Bulbul also. And I got a call and I met Anvita and I was immediately excited to be a part of the project. But there were a lot of people around me that told me that you've done a feature, why are you, doing a Netflix film? And at that time, Netflix, it was the 8 films, one of the first 8 films.
Yeah.
So that time, OTT पे films ज़्यादा आई नहीं थी.
Hmm, hmm.
तो वो भी risk था, and a lot of people were like, suddenly from theaters to OTT, why are you doing this? I said, I will do this film no matter what. I love the story, I love the character, and I will do it no matter what happens. It can tank, it can do well. I'm not thinking about all those things. I just want to experience this. And I think that film changed everything for me. And I always wanted that respect as an actor because my first film is not Leila Majnu, it's Poster
Yeah,
Boys.
poster boys. Yeah.
I was really bad in it. I didn't know how anything about acting back then. I spoke to Bobby Sir recently at the screening. I said, he's like, I remember you from Poster Boys. You were so nervously sitting on that bed and, trying to figure things out. He's like, I've been there, so I could feel you. I said, yeah. So that I think that film taught me a lot, and that is every day on set was a struggle for me because मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आता था क्या बात कर रहे हैं लोग आसपास POV ये वो. That is when I said, you know I want to be someone who's respected for their work, and which happened with Bulbul and of course with Laila Majnu. um so yeah, that
Okay.
happened, thank God.
But now you have 2 films lined up. You have one Dharma film with you, which is called Mere Ghar
Yes,
Mere Sanam, if I'm not wrong.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
and
yes.
you also have a Raj Chandelia's film.
Yeah,
How does that?
very excited about those 2 projects. And yeah, they're going to be out soon. I can't wait for people to watch Anand Sir's film. It's completely different from what I've done till now. Like, I'm only laughing and making people laugh in those films. So I'm very, very happy that people will get to see a different side of me, which is what I aim to do with my characters. I don't want to be doing one kind of a character. I want to explore more. I want to do different roles, play different characters. So that way it'll be interesting. And I'm also excited to watch myself laugh on screen for the first time.
True, true. My last question to in touch with Anvita.
I am. Yes, we
Did she see
talk.
this? Did she see the animal? Did she tell you what how did she feel?
After the release, I haven't really spoken to her because I'm also busy with a lot of things happening. So I will talk to her. I want her
Yeah,
response. Yeah.
cool. Tripti, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thanks. Lovely talking to you.